Hey everybody, welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel and this is my reality. Just wanted to come on here really quickly and share some information that a few videos that I found very interesting um about Sean P. Diddy Puppy Daddy Combs. Um, Let me say, first out of the gate, thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for everyone who watches my video. If you could, if you like the content that you're receiving or looking at or listening to, just hit that like button. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning or you're a subscriber already, welcome back. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Hit the like button. It is a free and easy way to support my channel, and I would really, really appreciate it. And let me also say, too, some of the information that's going to be spoken about could be triggering. So if it is triggering for you, this is a trigger warning. And then I also want to say, if you are in crisis or you ever feel like you're in crisis, and crisis is whatever crisis means to you, because a crisis to me may not seem like a crisis to others, and vice versa. You can always dial 988 or you can text 988 from any phone. And there are crisis counselors there to listen to you and or text back and forth with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So don't be afraid, and it's confidential. So I wanted to come on here and let you guys listen to some people I found today. I think they're called Math Mafia. And I just found their commentary very interesting. It's all men in this particular video, but they have a lot of videos that specifically I looked for the ones that had men and women. Once I found the first video, and I just wanted to share their commentary with you guys. Be sure to go over to their channel, check them out. I think again it's called Math Mafia, and the link is in the description. Everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, it is for entertainment purposes only, and it is all alleged. Okay, so with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go.
Again, innocent till proven Diddy.
Yeah.
They're saying that he's refusing to eat.
Yeah, he's saying he thinks he's going to be poisoned. Okay. But here's the interesting part. I was talking to my man Truth, my security, on the way here. And what he thinks is that the guards are actually slipping him actual real food. So he's not eating his meals. So it looks like he's not really eating, but he's really getting slipped some actual like high-end food.
They got him on suicide watch right now.
They say that, but I think after Epstein hung himself,
right,
and there was no guard, the camera was out, I think anyone of that caliber going in, they're automatically going to put him on suicide watch, just in case.
Right.
Because the jail looked horrible after Epstein. Right. And the conspiracy theory is going to go on till the end of time. Oh, he was killed by someone because he was going to snitch on all these powerful people. I don't think that's really what happened. Because I interviewed Alan Dershowitz, who was his lawyer at one point, who actually got him the original plea deal before he was charged with extra stuff. And I said, do you think, knowing Epstein the way you did, representing him, working with him, do you think there was some foul play He said no. He said, what I think was he was just used to a certain type of lifestyle for all these decades, living at the highest level. And I don't think he could really get his head around being in prison for the rest of his life. And he just didn't want to go on. Which to me sounds like the more likely scenario.
Right.
And this is coming from someone that actually knows him. I've never met Epstein, and no one here has either.
Right. But okay, so this Diddy thing is not something to be concerned. I mean,
I don't.
You're speculating that somebody may be slipping in food. What if they're not?
A hunger strike is a hunger strike.
Yeah.
Mean,
Why would he believe that someone's going to poison?
because people don't come out of MDC.
I was told when I was in MDC, when I got arrested for like a suspended license, I was told not to eat the food. The other inmates were like, "Yo, man, don't eat the bologna sandwiches. None of the guards eat them either. Like don't eat that shit." So I did it. I went to juniors afterwards. When I got out.
Wait,
He
you
was
went
right
to
there.
MDC for traffic violation?
Well, I had to. I'm not sure if it was actually MDC because first I got arrested. I was put in the precinct, but then a cop got shot that same night, so I had to stay in the precinct for like 2 days, and then I got put in central bookings. Is that MDC?
No, that's
No,
you
no.
talking about. He's talking about the tomb.
Central Book.
Yeah.
Manhattan, right?
It felt like I thought it was the
Was it
two.
Manhattan?
It was Brooklyn.
It's Brooklyn.
It was
He was-
Brooklyn.
he
Yeah,
was-
they got
he
an
was-
MDC
he
in
was-
Brooklyn. They got one in Manhattan.
I didn't know. I was in the feds. It wasn't the feds.
It wasn't
I
the
got
feds, right.
arrested locally by Brooklyn PD.
Yeah,
So then I was put in central bookings. I was moved
when
around.
you left out, he was in
So-
Atlantic Avenue when you came out.
But yeah,
Yeah, he was there.
So
that's
I never
so
heard
that's
of
not
Brooklyn
MDC.
PD though.
no.
That's not okay. My bad.
NDC is
that's-
down where the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
That's Brooklyn House.
That's Brooklyn House. Too.
Okay, my
The
bad.
point,
Right.
being they told you not to eat the food.
They told me not to eat the food.
You never eat the food.
I was told not to.
Use the sandwiches to get out.
I can't.
I
They used to make this, use the sandwiches as pillows.
What's the saying? Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean someone's not out to get you.
Absolutely.
I think it's a strong possibility. We've seen a lot of things that don't really fit, that don't make sense. Racketeering case, one person gets arrested.
Yeah.
Never really saw that before. You know what I'm saying?
Is there such a thing?
There is now.
Homeland Security searching someone's house that's not suspected of terrorism or never really seen that before. So I would understand the paranoia of, well,
It's not really. It did. I mean, going by that is paranoia because after 9/11, a lot of things changed. So Homeland Security is absolutely supposed to be out here checking for cross-border, like missing children and trafficking and all that.
right.
That falls under their purview.
That's true.
Right.
That's first things first. Second of all, paranoia that they gonna slip you, not poison you and all of that. He's under NDC cannot afford for him to die. They cannot afford that.
What if it's not for him to die? It's for him to become incapacitated in some way.
The last thing you want to do is be weak when they come in for you.
You guys lack imagination. All these things, like just lack of it's like there's
Where does your imagination take you?
it's the possibilities of literally endless. You are talking from the perspective of a billionaire who has been rich for a long time. The longer you're rich, the longer you can make enemies. The longer you stay on top, the more enemies you almost have to make. And if your enemies are as rich and powerful as you are, then anything is possible as long as someone who's working a 9 to 5 has a price. You don't know what this man has been doing for his entire run. Nobody knows. He could be helping charities. He could be a fucking supervillain on the low. Like, I hear all these different stories from my years in the business. Half are good, half are terrible. You don't know if the people who are telling you the terrible stories are lying. You don't know if the people who are telling you the good stories are exaggerating. Seen too many media spins. You've seen too many people who swear that this happened, this happened, this happened. You just take their word and run with it. And they could be talking about either way.
But you're still not telling us why he's not eating.
Because
I
already said that. I just said that. I literally just said, because if you're powerful and you have powerful enemies,
Right.
you don't even know if the people who you think are your enemies are even giving a fuck about you.
What's in the food? That's what I'm
That's it.
trying to
That could be.
Maybe he just don't want to eat that shit. Maybe
I
he
wouldn't
used
want
to
to-
steaks and lobsters and
Right,
shit.
exactly.
I eat
That
this,
part,
nigga. I don't eat
I
that shit.
also,
One at a time.
wait, I also heard this. I heard that based on where he's situated, he gets
So again, if you're just joining us, all of this is alleged. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Again, all of this information, like I said before, is alleged. It is for entertainment purposes only, and it is in my opinion. I'm sorry, guys. I just got a little notification, and I really kind of enjoyed this group of men's commentary. Now, I didn't agree with everything they said, and I don't agree with a lot of things that certain people are saying in this video. But listen, I say give them a try, and so that's what I'm doing. Let's just have an open mind today here on Chanel's Reality, and let's just see, what the males have to say about it, because I know here on Chanel's Reality, I'm constantly speaking from a female's perspective because I'm a female. So I just thought, let's just give a shout out to the men, and let's just see what they have to say about the Diddy is supposedly not eating circumstance at the jail that he's currently in. The jail that he's in, from my understanding, is the same jail that Jeffrey Epstein was in New Jersey. But don't quote me on that. I could be wrong about that. But I think it's the same exact jail. And I think it's, listen, I'm not made for jail. I'm made for 5-star hotels and room service. So listen, I'm going to pay whatever to get out or to not have to go. But I do find these guys' commentary interesting. So I'm going to let you guys listen for a little more.
The final serving of food, and sometimes it's moldy, and I'm saying, like, he's not getting the first batch fresh off the heating, whatever.
You don't know the condition of the
so
food
you're
that's
getting cold, nasty food, potentially moldy, and so forth. He's used to, because I remember I read an article that is basically talking about the phone calls he's making. He called like his pastor, he called his kids, but
this thing can hold up to 1,100 pounds.
So the Big Fig mattress is a special curated mattress for bigger.
One of the people he talked to was his dietitian. So, he's worried about what he's putting in his body. He's an older man. He's in his mid-50s.
Okay.
He potentially could have health issues as well. So, yeah.
No. He isn't I cannot. Diddy is not worried about his health. He's not worried about his body. He's not worried about what he's putting in his body. If he's allegedly, he said himself, I believe, on his fake apology to Cassie, that he's in therapy, and I don't know if he said he was using drugs. I'm not sure that he said that, but that's what the federal people said, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, they said there was lots of pink powder that, listen, I don't work for the DEA. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it seems that the word on the street is that pink powder has some cocoa leaves or cocoa something in it. So I don't believe for a second that Diddy, he's a quote unquote older man. And I don't believe for a second that he's worried about his health. No, he's not. People who are worried about their health are not doing the things that this man is being accused of at all. Not at all. So I don't believe that. And he's not an older man. He's older, but he's not old. I mean, he is, let me see. I'm 44. How old is Diddy? Let's see. How old is Sean P. Diddy Puffy Combs? Let's see how old he is. How old is Sean Combs? He's 10 years older than me. He's 54. He's still relatively young. I mean, I feel like I'm young. I'm just saying. But if you're doing things to your body that aren't good, he's not worried about that. If he's having a hard time, in my opinion, with being in jail for what he's being accused of, it's because he's in jail because of what he's being accused of. That's why I think he's having a hard time. I don't think it has anything to do with the food. Now, that being said, I've never, had the jail food, so I don't know. And I've only been to New Jersey once, and the food there that I went to have was rather good. But it was soul food. And I don't know why I went to New Jersey and decided to have soul food when I'm from Texas. Just saying. I don't know. I think it was recommended or something. But it was good. I have to say that part. It was good. But let's get back to the guys talking about this, what did they say? Innocent
I mean,
until
We're
proven
not
guilty.
just giving Diddy the bad food. Everybody in the prison
Everyone's getting the
system,
bad
right?
food.
That's
Right.
just
Everyone's getting the
He's
bad
getting
food.
Exactly.
He's just not used to the bad food.
Yeah,
Right.
no, because
He's used to a private chef.
right.
That's what I just said.
He's not
Like,
getting that, and it's his fault. He's not getting that,
Yeah.
right? And I'm gonna tell you, here's the conspiracy. It's like, yeah, Diddy's enemies is the reason that he didn't get bail. Right? That's what they said. The truth of the matter is Diddy is the reason that he didn't get bail.
Listen, he called
Exactly.
a potential witness 54 times.
We talked about this.
Yes,
I'm
even-
gonna let that rock out on your
past
channel.
that, right?
Okay.
When
I'm
they
gonna let that
raided-
rock out on your
When they
channel.
raided the
It's called witness
state
tampering.
with the search
It's
But,
pretty
warrant.
standard.
or it could be like, yo, you have to clear this up.
Before she posted her statement, he called her 54 times. Then she posted a
And
statement.
she posted a
supporting
statement,
him.
but no one knows the details of the conversation. She could have been like, call me in the morning. He's like, yo, it's 12 o'clock. She's still not answering. You dig what I'm saying?
Now you use
But I'm just saying.
You're not supposed to
I'm
communicate
being
with
fair.
anyone that's really
That's
potentially connected to your case. That is witness tampering. And sometimes witness tampering will get you 20 years in certain places like Florida. You see what I'm saying? Like there's really harsh because you're breaking down the whole legal system when you tamper with witnesses.
But did this happen before he knew this person was a witness?
She was connected to someone who was suing him based on sexual assault claims. So yes, and this is what he assumed he was going to get indicted for in the grand jury. So it's not that hard to put those pieces together.
But again,
He ran.
like Mav said, the call could have been, yo, I need you to talk to X, Y, and Z and clear this shit up. Like, she's bugging, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And if I thought,
But that could potentially be witness tampering. In and
of course,
itself.
I'm not
not potential,
negating that. But if I feel like my freedom is at risk and this person has the key and can clear it up, hey, talk to your
I feel
people.
you.
Like,
All
what
right.
the
You're
fuck?
not supposed to be making
Here's
those
how you-
phone calls.
here's how you
I
tie
know
it all
that.
in.
But if you're panicking, is my point.
Well, his
50
panic,
calls sounds like a panic.
his
You know he's
panic,
panicking.
essentially contributed to him not getting bail.
No,
Would you be calm?
when
No.
Negro.
when they sent that
No.
plane, when they did
Hell
the
no.
search,
No.
You panicking.
I don't hold on.
Right.
I don't have this kind of situation ever happen. I've had somebody saying something about somebody I know in the business situation I'm in might blow up. And I'm, what the fuck? Hey, pick the phone up. No. What are you doing? What did you just, I'm looking at an email right here. What the fuck? I've panicked in that way and didn't have my freedom on the line, didn't have 100.
My co-sculpting journey, it was much easier than I thought.
Hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, didn't have my family at risk, my reputation, my business, my career. None of that shit was at risk. And I've made 20 somehow. Yo, you were supposed to call in the morning, bro. It's 11:30. What are you doing? Like, come on, we could get, hey, what's going on over there?
That's why his numbers up like that.
right? I'm not the 50 goals ain't my thing. When they raided those homes, right? When they raided those two cribs, that nigga fled. He sent his jet to like Bali. He was hidden out. And when they came for the arrest warrant, because the search warrant wasn't an arrest warrant, right?
Search warrant,
When they came with the arrest warrant, the first I looked at, I said, "Oh, they're not gonna let him live down the search warrant shit.
Yeah.
You're a flight risk." They didn't say anything about 50 calls, witness tampering. They said he is a flight risk. He has means and ways to do what he did the last time.
But when he offered the bond, he offered his plane, his passports. His plane was.
Well, he took his passport anyway.
Right.
He didn't offer the
Right.
At the point you get indicted.
Right.
But when it came to the bond,
When it came right,
here's the houses,
Here's the
here's my private
Right.
50
But-
million?
everything.
50 million.
If I go like this, right? You ever
That's
heard
not that
saying,
much
don't give anybody any. If
because you're paying 10%. It's only $5 million.
Yeah,
That's not that much.
That's still a lot of money.
My main,
Not for Diddy.
not for
not for
Diddy.
him. My main
He
point
probably
is the
spends that in travel for you.
Not
My
for
main
Diddy.
point is the plane.
It's not that much.
My main point is the plane. Like he offered his plane.
Right, but
as
you got
bond and they
friends that
rejected.
have.
Right. It's too late though.
Exactly.
You understand? You
Right.
you
Right.
have
Too late.
means and ways don't mean it's just your pocket.
Plus they found illegal guns at the house.
No, that's
Yeah,
his
with
son's
the-
fault. Talking in the rap song, talking about we bought the house next door. Good thing they ain't searched that one. That's where
Yeah,
they found
that
two
was-
Yeah,
drums.
they found two or three AR-15s
And two
with the serial number
scratched
scratched off
and drums.
and a 50 round drum.
Right.
All of which are legal.
All of that. Listen.
All of
No.
which are legal.
Let's not put that on King Kong like that.
No, I'm not saying.
Well,
keep
I
it
would have
until
never
you
said
do
we
it.
brought the house next door. Maybe shut the fuck up sometimes.
Exactly.
What people need to do. It's not a hard thing to not say nothing. You know what they teach me when I was a kid? Yo, when the police come, you know what you're supposed to tell them?
Nothing.
Why y'all out here rapping about this shit?
Exactly.
What sense does that make?
Exactly.
I mean, like I said, I'm not mad at him for asking the question. I'm mad at you for answering.
And here's what's crazy, right? We talked about this on my when you were on my show. The whole
And let me say this.
firebombing of Kid Cudi.
I will say this. I don't think it was necessary to show them. And when I say them, I'm talking about the raid on Diddy's home or one of his homes where at least one of his children were there. At least one. I don't know if it was more than one, but I know there was at least one there. So I don't necessarily think it was necessary for them to show the public per se these young men in handcuffs for a few reasons. We already know that this country has a very dark history, okay, when it comes to brown people and people of color, period. We do. And so when you put that imagery out there, you're sending a message to a whole lot of people that don't understand the complicated history that we have with this country as brown people who don't want to understand the complicated history we have with this country as brown people. They don't. And then there are people who across the world that have never been to this country that don't understand the complicated history we have regarding race and regarding Black men and crime and things that have gone on in history. I won't go down the whole list of it, and I don't want to make this about a Black or white or whatever thing. I'm just saying optically, it's not a good look, and it wasn't necessary, especially if they are not the people who are being charged with any sort of crime. But maybe they will be. I don't know. And then because optically it doesn't look good. It looks like there is absolutely immediately once that hits the airwaves, that image is going to be repeated and repeated. And we saw it already, right? Because like I said, we live in a 24-hour news cycle. So they're going to continuously show this picture of Sean P. Diddy Combs' children seemingly getting arrested. They weren't arrested, but it doesn't matter. The picture looks like that they are. It never matters in court what you believe. It only matters what you can prove. Period. End of story. And in the court of public opinion, though, none of that matters. All that matters is someone's opinion about what they're seeing, about what they're viewing when they're viewing it. And we all know from culture to culture, from language to language, the message can get lost. And if you already have a preconceived idea about Black men or people of color or men of color in this country, then you're going to perceive it the way you're going to perceive it. And especially if you have the wrong idea and the wrong picture that's been painted for you. And I'm not saying that they're painting any sort of picture about Diddy per se. They are, but I'm saying, I want to be clear. I'm not saying they're painting a picture about a Black man in this case. I don't believe that. And I'm a Black woman. I don't. And I'm married to a whole Black man. Okay. And I live in Texas. So miss me with all of the conspiracy theories and all of that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the optics of it looks bad. Diddy has absolutely nothing. Oh, let me say it like this. What Diddy has been accused of in lawsuits and what the federal government or the Southern, what do they call it? District of New York is charging Diddy with has nothing to do with Black culture, has nothing to do with hip hop, has nothing to do with hip hop culture, has nothing to do with the Black community. Nothing. It has nothing to do with Black men or Black women. optically, yes, people are going to derive, like I said, from that picture. That's why I'm trying to put this into perspective. But people are going to derive from that picture that there are two or more Black men that are, in handcuffs at Sean P. Diddy Puffy Daddy Combs' house or homes. And for some people, they're going to have a reaction. They're going to have that. Some people are going to get triggered. Some people are going to be mad. Some people are going to be happy, on and on and on. But I want to be clear that I'm not stating that that's what this is about. I'm saying that some people will view it as that. It is just a fact. I don't view it as any of that. I view it as they didn't need to do that per se, in my opinion. But on the other hand, I'm kind of glad that they did, because I hope that it sends a message to his children. And I'm not talking about all the children. I'm certainly not talking about the girls, because they're still under the age of 18, is my understanding. I'm saying some of his older children that are grown are being charged, or I'm going to say it like this, not being charged. Let me be very, very clear. They are being sued. And some of the allegations are very similar to the allegations that their father was sued for. That was in the Cassie lawsuit. And so go read the lawsuit before you, decide that you want to chime down in the comments and, use both sides of your brains today is all I'm saying. But yeah, I don't think that it was necessary for them to do that. But I love the message that they're trying to send, which is don't sleep. We got the scope. Don't sleep. You are going down. That, to me, is the message that the federal government sent when they sent Homeland Security and whomever else to his house. And also, let's be clear about this too. Homeland Security is not coming to your house in full tactical gear without proof of something. They're just not. And also, on a lighter note, I don't give a shit that Diddy isn't eating well in prison. He's in prison or jail, whatever. Same difference. And I know that there's a difference between prison and jail, so don't come for me in the comments. But I'm just saying, I don't care. That is the point of putting people in jail. Not to serve them terrible food, but the point is, don't bring your ass here, okay? Because you don't want to eat this terrible food. The point is, don't bring your ass here, because now you in here with some real hard heads, some actual violent criminals. Don't bring your ass here, because we don't care about your needs and your wants and whatever else. And if you keep doing whatever it is, you're eventually going to get caught. Let this be a lesson, Diddy and everybody else that was watching and profiting and partaking and all of the other things. I'm not talking about the people who were under the influence of something and had no idea what was going on. Because if you're under the influence, you can't give consent legally. So, but anyways, no, I mean, I don't understand this whole argument about like, oh, well, he's not eating well and he's not, who cares? Good. I want him to sit in that cell and think about it. I want him to sit there and mull over and just be like, and here's the thing. He could have stopped. Remember when everybody was talking about when the news broke that Cassie filed a lawsuit against him, and within 24 hours that lawsuit was settled? Of course he knew that lawsuit was coming. Of course he knew it. Of course Cassie's attorneys advised her that they were going to submit something, whatever that might be, to Diddy, his team, his lawyers, whomever. And of course, his lawyers got that information and said, because that if you're on payroll or you have lawyers that you pay monthly or whatever it is, even if you don't, but if you retain an attorney, their job is to read the information that is sent to them in whatever lawsuit, whatever claim, and then interpret the law. That's what a lawyer is there for, right? and then inform their client on what is being accused, what they're being accused of, what the accusations are, and then how they should proceed. Essentially, now I'm not an attorney, and I wasn't there, so I don't know. But that's my opinion about what your attorney should be doing. They should be doing legal things in your best interest, in the best interest of their client, right? But they still have an oath that they take. Just saying. So they're supposed to do things the right way. Doesn't mean that they are going to, but they're supposed to. But I mean, at the end of the day, they passed on the information to their client. Their client played around, and he, as people say, fucked around and found out. That's what happened. He kept messing around, and he found out, and now he's in jail. Because Cassie isn't the only person accusing this man. Now, my understanding is allegedly there's up to like 100, plaintiffs. I figured that there was going to be some sort of class action lawsuit. I said that in one of my other videos. I thought that's what they were gearing up for anyways. I thought that the moment I saw that one lady, what's her name? Gloria? I think her name is Gloria. She is representing the latest victim. Well, not the latest, but she had a whole press conference with her client. And her client, talked about a little bit about what had happened to her. And it was sad. But there's a few lawsuits. If you guys go through and you read them, child, it's dark. And trust, when I say I've seen a lot, I've seen autopsy pictures with children on the table. So it's gruesome, and what Diddy's being accused of is gruesome. And so for me, I don't care about whatever he's eating. He don't have to eat as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a person who rejoices in the downfall of anyone. However, I do take exception with certain things. If you're messing with, the lives of children, elderly, and people who cannot defend themselves against you, I'm probably going to take exception with whatever happens to you. I'm going to pray for you, but I'm probably going to take exception to whatever happens to you. Listen, how much whatever happens to you happens. I'm not, listen, what did Tamar say? I ain't Jesus, okay? No, but seriously, I'm not rejoicing in that, but I'm very happy that if what he's been accused of and anybody else has been accused of these types of things and they're found guilty by, a jury of their peers and they actually are guilty, they need to go to jail and stay there. Don't get out. You are a menace to society. And I don't feel bad for you. But I do think everybody deserves, due process in their day in court. I just wish that it was more fair when people talk about it, because it's really not fair to the victims. The statutes of limitation, that's not fair to them. That's fair. That's not even, that is only in the best interest of the perpetrator. It doesn't help the victim in any way, any statute of limitation. It doesn't. But anyways, let's get back to what these guys are going to say. And then I'll let you guys go to their website and you can, not their website, to their channel and view it. And like I said, everything on Chanel's Reality is my opinion. And it is sorry guys, I'm getting text messages, I'm getting notifications. It is in my opinion, it is for entertainment purposes only, and it is all alleged. Okay, so let's get back to what these guys were saying.
His car, I know someone who was with Kid Cudi when he got the call. That actually happened.
Yeah. Wait. But how do you know? How does this work? Give me something that says
it's from Diddy.
We know, like Diddy text him.
No.
You're right.
At the time, that's not what I'm saying. At the time, they didn't know who firebombed the car, but he was with Kid Cudi because they were working on something together.
So this was just blamed on Diddy.
Well, later on, they ended up blaming him. But what's crazy?
It could have been Kanye, right?
No,
Yeah,
Why y'all
it
niggas
could have been. But but the crazy part, let me tell you something. What they're saying, the police report is that Diddy or someone that Diddy said, I guess it was a convertible, he actually cut the convertible top and threw a Molotov cocktail inside the car.
Damn.
If that video ever comes out, if Diddy was the one who actually cut the convertible top and threw a Molotov cocktail into a car, this would be the most viral video of all time. Think about it. How do you even do that? If someone gave you a knife and said, yo, here's a Molotov cocktail and a knife, make it happen. You'd have to think about it for a second. You know what I'm saying? Cutting a convertible top with a knife is probably
some good
fairly
pussy, a nigga
difficult.
doing that.
And then you gotta light the Molotov cocktail without lighting yourself on fire. It's a bottle of fucking gasoline with a rag on it. You gotta light off. Yeah.
I kind of, if I have to firebomb in the car, I'm like, yo, you know what? Maybe Kid Cudi asked for me. I don't know.
For the love of God.
If your insurance won't cover Ozempic, here's an option that's easier to get and it costs less than $9 a day.
And immigrants just use crackheads.
Nobody's inviting anybody, man. This is the land of the free, home, and brave.
Listen, like I said, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep talking about it. It's kind of our jobs.
I'm shocked he didn't get bail.
You're shocked?
Shocked.
I'm not.
I bet money.
I'm not
shocked.
I'm not, because they picked him up early.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And
that
if he
part was
allowed
really
to turn
weird.
himself in, that might help.
But Harvey Weinstein had bail. R. Kelly initially had bail.
Mhm.
The FTX guy had a $250 million bail until he violated it, by witness tampering. You see what I'm saying? But all of these high-profile rich people who had somewhat, some of them had similar charges, like Weinstein, like R. Kelly, and so forth. They all had bail. So I assume that he would get bail.
I didn't.
So how many?
Really?
By show of hands, how many people here believe Diddy pissed off somebody and they're getting them right now?
Nope, not me.
How many people believe it's just his time and he did a lot of dirt?
I believe that.
I think a few things.
Well, let me say that.
I
don't want to say it's his time and all that. That's wishing harm on the nigga.
Right.
But don't do it. Don't get caught. Is the rule.
I would say, and I've always said this: law enforcement is reactionary. The Cassie lawsuit got so much international media attention that it ultimately triggered law enforcement to look into the situation. Just like R. Kelly, the surviving R. Kelly documentary triggered law enforcement.
Let me say why that's incorrect.
Mm-hmm. So Hammer Burst triggered everybody.
I think that's incorrect because if the federal government is sending Homeland Security to raid your home or your homes, Cassie's lawsuit isn't the reason. Be very clear. They're sending Homeland Security to raid your home and look for evidence and all that. They have way more reason than one person's lawsuit about allegations regarding trafficking of human beings. They do. The federal government is not about to set aside millions of dollars because Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit. What they're going to do is they're going to set aside whatever millions of dollars. If it took millions of dollars, they're going to set aside that money because they have some sort of proof that's going to lead them to ask Homeland Security to go and raid someone's home or homes. They're not going to do it simply because we saw a lawsuit and the public got outraged and therefore now we're here. No. Well, before Cassie filed her lawsuit, because remember, it takes time, right? For an attorney to, investigate or talk to the client, whatever it is, it takes time to do that, right? To build the evidence. It's going to take time. The other reason I disagree is because the Southern District of New York, just like all our other 50 states, have statutes of limitations specifically as it pertains to sex crimes. There are statutes of limitation in each state, for the most part, has their own twist or their own, legal spin on the statute, right? Their time frames and all that kind of stuff, right? And depending on it's levels to it. I'm gonna just say it like that. So the reason, in my opinion, and again, I'm not an expert, I'm not a legal expert, and I wasn't there, so I'm not 100% sure. But in my professional opinion, and in my personal opinion, I do think that the Southern District of New York decided to ask whoever they had to ask, we need a year. Can we open up this statute of limitation on sex crimes and the amount of time that victims are allowed to come forth and, file a lawsuit? Can we open that up for a year? I promise you, they have to have probable cause for whatever it is that they're submitting to whatever part of the government that they have to submit it to get that year. Because federally, there is a statute of limitation on sex crimes. It just is what it is. It's just a fact. Go look it up. Each state has their own particular, like I said, spin on it, So the federal government leaves it up to the states because for whatever reason they do. I personally don't even agree with that. I don't think there should be statutes of limitation on any sex crime personally. Because what we need, why are we limiting the victim's time and not the perpetrator or the alleged perpetrators? Why are we limiting how long the victim has to come forward, but we don't have any restrictions on the perpetrator? That just doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical, but here we are, right? So that's why his argument about, the federal government, saw something and, because Cassie, dropped this lawsuit out there and then they had a call to action. No. The federal government isn't going to have a sudden call to action. And then after they've opened up this window for victims to come forward for a year, that's not a sudden cause of action. That is a premeditated, in my opinion, and I am not the federal government and I do not work for the federal government. And this is all in my opinion and it's all alleged, but they're not going to just all of a sudden do something like that. There are rules and regulations, right? So the rules and regulations, the federal government is supposed to follow. And they need to get proper information and proper, what's the right word? Permission to do things like give a whole state of people a year to come forward and talk about, whatever happened to them allegedly, however they were violated. They opened it up, in my opinion, because they knew that they already had evidence of everything that they're charging this man with. That is why they opened it up. It wasn't some sudden thing that they had, in my opinion. But let's just listen to whatever it is that these young guys have to say or men have to say, because I do value, a little bit of, pushback sometimes. I live in Chanel land, and so things over here are sunny, and I like my opinion, and it's my reality, like I said. But you can't always be right about everything unless you're omnipotent, and we are not. So, anyway, let's get back to it.
Exactly. Animal birth, perfect example. I forgot about that. Think about it. These are 20, 30-year-old rumors, but something goes viral and suddenly everyone's reporting on it. And look, listen, one of my security guys out here is active NYPD. He said he goes to meetings in the morning and his boss has a board and he goes, okay, front page of New York Post, we're going to focus on this crime here. They're not focusing on the people that no one's heard about, even though it might be a more serious and heinous crime. They're going, the stuff they're being criticized for. How is NYPD not found this rapist who's running around Queens and raping, dogs or something? You know what I'm saying? Right. No, we're going to go after this guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's how we got the Central Park South.
But that's how his brain goes.
So that means if we want something to actually change, we have to generate a headline.
Correct. 100%.
Well, because the
100%.
prosecutors want publicity too.
Exactly.
That's how they raise
That's how they get reelected.
Go past that.
Here's the other thing. I think both things you raise your hand on can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
I think when you're at the top for a long time, You acquire enemies. People want to see, and if you
That's
get
why
caught up
business
on
has
something
fun.
else, now here comes everybody that you pissed off on the way up, and they all having their fun. They all having their turn. You acquire enemies. It's not possible to be that guy and not piss somebody off. It's not possible. Even if you're justified in doing what you did to get to the top, even if you didn't cut anybody's throat, somebody either feels like A, that was supposed to be me, B, you did me dirty on that deal, even though the paper was right there. You could have, I just did business, but hey, you did me dirty. Fuck that. It's your fault that I'm here.
Blaming.
And you keep company with, I've seen these rich dudes in these rooms who are hating on somebody who has the same amount of money because he's getting more girls, he's getting more attention, he's getting this, he's getting that. They get mad. They get pissed. And they exact their revenge in different ways. They don't challenge them to a fight. They do other shit.
Yeah. You ever seen American Psycho?
Yeah, no, but piggybacking on your downfall is one thing. I don't think that anybody caused his own downfall.
Exactly.
Aside from him. Nobody. I mean,
I don't think he caused his own downfall.
I did. He filmed it. He recorded it.
Was.
He didn't press erase.
Listen, I think from Diddy's point of view, and this is not me defending him or whatever else, is like, look, he has certain kinks, as you say, he has certain fetishes, and he found a group of people that are willing to go along with it based on money, based on access or whatever else.
Status, clout,
whatever else. You know, I don't think he was drugging people. I think that he was taking drugs and offered drugs to other people who wanted to take them as well. I don't think he shoved anyone's face into the cocaine and made them sniff it.
Right.
You know, I think people like doing coke, people like popping pills and so forth.
I can't. Something happened here.
Ollie's Bargain Outlet sells famous brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store price.
They fell for the peer pressure when they were in
They fell for the peer pressure of being
now,
cool with them or whatever else. And I think from his point of view, he's like,
it was all good.
I'm not really harming anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm
Hypothetically
saying?
speaking,
That's how I think he thinks.
Hypothetically speaking, say everything that you said was absolutely the way it went down, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have anything to hold on him if he pressed erase. They're holding film on him. Anybody in the room when they was like, she was underage.
What does he have? What does he have on? What did they say they have on film other than the Cassie beating, which is past the statute of limitations anyway?
They said they have underage young girls in the room.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that one. No. I've heard girls who they say are barely legal, but that's still legal.
What the fuck?
If a girl's 18 years old, exactly, even under federal guidelines, that's legal. Right. Now, is it morally frowned upon that a 50-something-year-old man is getting with an 18-year-old? Yes, but it's not illegal. You can't arrest someone for an 18-year-old. You can't arrest someone for a 17-year-old.
They're not arresting them on free
17, you can't.
I think.
What's that?
17, you can't.
It depends on what state.
Depends on what state, though. Certain states allow 17. You go down south and you see all types of insane, statutes. What I'm saying.
I look at Diddy's situation, and all I can think of is that old saying, power corrupts. Mm-hmm. Absolute power corrupts.
Absolutely. Right.
Exactly.
That's what happened to him. And I think in his mind, I don't think he felt he was doing anything wrong.
Of course he knew he was.
You know, notice how none of the male prostitutes are coming forward and saying they got exploited or whatever else.
Oh my God.
You know, the female prostitutes or whatever else.
Picture that.
Picture that. Yo,
listen.
They all got paid.
Paid? It's Cassie? This one's on me, bro.
Oh, please. Okay. There was a guy, I forget his name, but the video is certainly out there. He's a light-skinned guy or he's a white guy, or maybe he's biracial. But there's a video of him, and this was years ago when he was in a psych ward. And they said he was crazy. And I'm not saying he was or wasn't. I have worked, however, in the behavioral health parts of a hospital. So, as a therapist. So, I certainly interviewed people who were either in psychosis, recovering from psychosis, or recovering from some variation of being on drugs, or were there because they were depressed, on and on and on, right? For various reasons. So I certainly know that everyone there isn't crazy, quote unquote, or what the public may view as crazy, or psycho, or whatever the case may be. That being said, this young man or this man said in that interview, and I promise you, you go and you Google it, you'll find it. He said in that interview, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he said that he was, I guess, paid to have sexual relations with Cassie and Diddy. This is what this man claims. And he claimed this years ago, well before there was Cassie made any type of lawsuit. I believe he even claimed this before Kim Porter passed. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so. But anyway, like I said, I don't know. I wasn't there, innocent until proven guilty. And this is just all alleged. But this is what this got. This is what I saw with my eyes. I don't know that it was true because I wasn't there. But what I do know is true is what he said on the video. And he said on that video that basically he was hired to come and have sexual activities with Cassie Ventura and Diddy. And he said that he had sex with both of them. And he said while he was there, he heard things, because he said that Diddy would have, I wouldn't say meetings, but, they would have people there and they would talk about things. And he said he overheard things. He also said that he used the term sex slave. He said that's what he was. So that's why it's laughable to me that, well, maybe let me not say that, because I was going to say these guys are saying that there are no men, prostitutes coming forth or sex workers coming forth. And I'm just going to say that people have been coming forth. Just because you don't see it on CNN does not mean that no one came forth. It doesn't. Period. There could have been many male sex workers, I'll say it like that have come forth. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And it certainly doesn't mean that they're not a part of the Southern District of New York's case. Be very, very clear. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. So you have to be careful with what you say. And like I said, these are things that are, in my opinion, everything on this channel is alleged and it's for entertainment purposes only. And like I said, innocent until proven guilty. I 100% believe Diddy is guilty. It just is what it is. That's what I believe. Like I said, I worked in sex crimes for years. I know what I'm talking about. For my personal opinion, just saying. So let's finish listening to what they have to say, and then we're going to go ahead and end this live.
No,
he ain't got to worry about
I think from his point of view, he was just
50 million, 50 million.
living his life, spending his money, getting his fetishes on. There's nothing illegal about watching your girl get fucked by somebody.
No.
It's a little weird, but it's not illegal.
The feds don't arrest
Adam
you for
22.
things that...
Yeah, Adam 22.
Yeah.
He's not being arrested for having, letting...
See, this is what irritates me. The federal government didn't say, unless it's a video I didn't see, that they were arresting or indicting Sean Puffy Diddy Combs for having sexual relations with his girlfriend. That isn't what they said. They said racketeering. Here, let's go to what it is they said. Hold please. Okay. Let me share this. Let me share my screen real quick. Hold on, let me pull it up because I need to be able to read it. One second. Okay. Okay. So this is what the Southern District of New York has charged. This is what the federal government has charged Sean Combs with. It says Sean Combs charged in Manhattan federal court with sex trafficking or schmex trafficking. You're not allowed to say that word. And other offenses. It says okay. Let me go down. It says okay, so it says agent in charge of the New York Field Office of Homeland Security Investigates, so HSI, announced that Sean Puffy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, was arrested last night, and this is I'm reading this from a few days ago. And charged in a 3-count indictment with racketeering, conspiracy, schmex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The indictment unsealed today, or like I said, I'm reading this a few days after. With let me see where it was at. Between 2000, okay, hold on. It says, yeah, the indictment unsealed today alleges that between 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others, and led a racketeering conspiracy. Racketeering conspiracy that engaged in schmex trafficking, forced labor. Both of those are under human trafficking. Kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, among other crimes. So people get it twisted and they're like, oh no, they only had one witness. No, they had more than one witness. Oh, well, they only charged them with it. No, there's a list of things. And they're gonna have a list of things. And I promise you, they didn't go to that man's house or homes or mansions or whatever it was that they raided without cause. They didn't. But let's see. So that's what the federal government has charged Mr. Combs with. And so that's what I'm rolling with. Let's not with the malarkey. Oh, I don't know what that noise is. But anyways, I'll stop it here. Thank you guys for tuning in to another, episode of Chanel's Reality. Like I said, I put these guys, what do you call it? Channel, a link to their channel down in the description. Go check out their videos. They have another video where they have men and women in there, and I'm probably gonna maybe try to make time to review that one with you guys. Let me know in the chat if you want that. I'm gonna do it either way, but let me know if you guys would be interested in it. Like I said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit the like button if this is your first time to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're on the replay crew or you're listening right now, welcome, welcome back. If this is your first time, please, if you like the content, subscribe to my channel and hit all my buttons. Hit the notification button if you want to receive notifications of when I go live, when I upload a new video, anything like that. You'll be informed and notified. Until next time, guys, I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Bye, guys. Have a good week.